You're watching the Press Row, a special NBA Finals exam version. I'm Mike Sherman with Barry Tramel, and we're talking about the big questions after Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the Thunder's 105-94 victory of the Miami Heat. And Barry, the question to me is, what's the biggest fallacy the Thunder has exposed? You know, we had a lot of them. One, too many turnovers. Two, Russell Westbrook shoots too much. What's the latest and what's the biggest?
I think something we've seen out of the Thunder is the season-long theory that the Thunder settles for too many jump shots. Last night, 56 points in the paint from the Thunder. Constantly attacked the rim. Both Durant, Russell Westbrook, very successful at it. Now, James Harden was not. He had an off night, but this is a Thunder team that does score in the paint. It's one of the higher-scoring teams in the paint. They just don't do it in a traditional way.
Yeah, the traditional way is to have a guy on the low block, pound the ball into him, and there's another fallacy. Remember all the people who said the Thunder's not going anywhere until they get a guy like that. Well, they didn't get a guy like that, but they pound the paint. How?
Well, they penetrate. Westbrook is a constant, Eric Spoelstra last night said Westbrook is relentless, never stops coming. Durant's become a much better driver and disher, and you're seeing that Ibaka and Collison particularly are getting a lot of feeds off the penetration. Even Ibaka last night had a couple of plays where he drove the lane, which he didn't do that much in the regular season. So you're seeing more and more of that, and the Thunder is getting easy and close shots from the paint where they still shoot jump shots. They still shoot their share of threes, pull-up jumpers, all those things, but they really do get the ball in the paint and get a lot of close shots.
One last fallacy, of course, last night also exposed. The Thunder can't do it in crunch time. He can't do it in half court without James Harden. James didn't really even play much last night at all, and yet they handled crunch time fabulously.
Interesting fourth quarter. James Harden not used until about the 2.5-minute mark. Went with Derek Fisher and Thabo Sefolosha in a small lineup. Scotty Brooks really hasn't done that all season. James Harden on the bench most of the fourth quarter, and the Thunder not only survived, they thrived with that lineup. I do expect James to be back in the thick of things for Game 2.
That's all for this edition of the Press Row Finals Exam, but you can stay with the best coverage team every day in the Oklahoman, every morning at newsok.com.